Now, I feel like everybody was expecting me to come out and say, guess what, guys? 13 draws in the Serie A. Where did it go wrong? Where did it go right? That is the question. That is what I'm going to dissect. Where did it go right? That second half Juventus performance was probably the best half of football that I've seen Juventus play this entire season. Regardless of the opposition, regardless of how many goals they scored, I feel like it ticked all of Motta's boxes. His team was dominant on the ball. But most importantly, when I say dominant, I don't mean in their own half. Gatti, Kalulu, no. They were dominant in the second phase. They were dominant in the third phase. They retained the ball. They suffocated Milan in their own half. They pushed the entire team forwards. That is Thiago Motta football. They were dominant on the ball. They were so dominant off the ball. Like, that second half, I feel like Juventus just took it up 1, 2, 3 gears and they were like, listen, we're going to push the entire team forward. We're going to deploy this man-to-man press. Milan were drowning. Milan couldn't play out of the back. They couldn't even string 3, 4 passes. And eventually they started resorting to just going long over the top to try and beat Juventus' press. But guess what? Gatti with the headers. Kalulu with the headers. Locatelli. Wow. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that Locatelli performance? Locatelli dropping in the middle of the two centre half, just dictating play from deep. That was an amazing Locatelli performance. But I'm not even... Listen, I'll chat about Locatelli later. Mbangula. I feel like that Mbangula performance was like the biggest slap in the face to every Juve board member. Mbangula at the start of the season... Let's be real. The only reason why he was included in the squad is because Juve couldn't get their hands on another winger to rotate with Kenan Yildiz. He's from this next-gen Juventus team, an academy player. If Juventus were to even sell him for 5 million, that's 5 million in straight profits. There were even rumours of him leaving in January. This kid is now looking like one of Juventus's best attackers. And I genuinely feel like a coach like Motta loves him. Why does he love him? He gives him the fundamentals. He really, really, really does. Off the ball, Mbangula is a pest. He tracks back. He gets stuck in. He wins his tackles. On the ball, the thing I love about him is he understands when to be aggressive and take on his man and be risky in the final third. But he also understands when to turn around and just pass it back. Recycle possession. Like, let's just look at his goal. Fair enough, he got lucky, but let's just look at his goal. You could see Juventus have the ball down the right-hand side. Coop Miners, I don't feel like he had an amazing game, but I feel like he played a massive part in that goal because that goal just split Milan open. You can see they've got it down the right-hand side. From a Milan's perspective, I'm looking at Musa, I'm looking at Benacer, and I'm thinking, why is Kefran Turam in the middle of the 2 centre-halves and 2 midfielders? He's just in the middle, unmarked, open. Kefran Turam just getting that touch to Nico Gonzalez. It was so key. But from a Milan's perspective, I'm asking myself, Benacer, you need to track back. You need to mark Kefran Turam, who's just completely open in the centre. And now he can orchestrate. He gets it to Nico Gonzalez. This fake shot where he pretended to shoot and fooled everybody, put it on a plate for Mbangula to run onto and strike. And fair enough, the deflection took it over the Milan keeper. But it's just the aggression that Juventus showed. The ability to push their bodies forward. And then it's just a team goal. Nico Gonzalez could have shot. He could have taken 3, 4, 5 touches. Kefran Turam could have shot. No, they opened up Milan. They passed the ball into the areas where there was the most space. And Mbangula took his goal. But that Mbangula performance, it was really special. Like, even after the game, I was like, let me look at his numbers. Yeah, like, he's played well. Like, he's passed the eye test. Let me see if he passes the stats test. How can you be an attacking player where you're now required to take risks and still finish the game on a 98% pass accuracy? Do you guys know how ridiculous that is? Do you guys know what that means? It means he's so efficient yet effective in possession. There are not many wingers in the world that are efficient and effective in the final third, and they decide games. He was so decisive. Like I said, he's just a massive slap in the face to any Juve board member, because rather than cashing in on your next gen players for straight profits, why not build the team around them? Because selling him for 10, 15 million pounds, which is what was rumoured throughout January, you're not going to find a player of similar quality for just 10, 15 million. He understands what it means to play for Juve. It's a big game. He shared the pitch today with some of the world's biggest of stars, but he looked like the best player on that pitch. What a performance by him. I mentioned how good he was off the ball. Who won the ball back for Juventus? Who won the ball back for Juventus for Weah's goal? Mbangula. You could see he gets stuck in with Fofana. Fofana has a loose touch. Mbangula, he pounces. He wins it. But then, rather than going for glory, no, he pounces. He gives it to Thuram. Thuram, the vision was amazing, but it's the pass, the weight, the accuracy, the timing. Weah's run to perfection. And for me, this is like a replica. I remember in the first half, I saw Nico Gonzalez down the right-hand side, 1v1. 1v1, and I was just sat telling myself, when you're a kid and you're being coached how to play football, they always say to you, when you've got the ball 1v1 in isolation, in like a shooting area, what you need to do, don't overcomplicate it. When you overcomplicate, you end up missing. Nico Gonzalez, for me, in that moment, he overcomplicated. Like, he didn't know whether he wanted to go on his left, on his right, if he wanted to cut it back, if he wanted to go down the outside. Timothy Weah, he just got the ball, he ran down, he got the ball into a goal scoring area, he just got the ball out of his feet and he shot. That's what attackers are supposed to do. The more you take on the ball, the more you close down the angle to get a shot away. Weah understood the assignment. I've gotten myself now into Milan's box, I've got an angle for a shot, safe. Get the ball at my feet and shoot. And fair enough, you can make a case, keeper should have saved it, but I feel like it just caught him by surprise because of how quick he had the shot. But Juve, it was dominant. I'll be so honest with you guys. Like I've mentioned before, I'm going to dedicate an entire video to this man-to-man press that Milan under Sérgio Conceição, like the 3-4-4 build-up shape where you've got the midfielders dropping deep. Milan for me just didn't look at it. They really didn't. I felt like the occasion got to them. They struggled playing out of the back. Like when you watch the game, does anybody remember Rafael doing anything? Nah. Tammy Abraham? Nah. Reinders, no. The midfielders, Benacer, Musa, all of them struggled. But when it comes to Juve, it was just dominant on the ball. It was dominant off the ball. This is a Juve team that's full of injuries. But like I said at the beginning, if I was Thiago Motta, I would be looking at his performance and just looking at these players and thinking, if you guys can do this against Milan, at home, the pressure of the big game, whilst having so many injuries, if you guys can perform like this on the ball, you can perform like this off the ball, you can be penetrative in the final third with so many rotations. Kenan Yildiz even went off at halftime. If you can do this, then why haven't you done it throughout the season? And maybe it is just a matter of with time, practice makes perfect. But this was like, that second half performance was like the first time I see Thiago Motta's Bologna. From watching them last year, like, they looked like a team that was so aggressive off the ball. They wouldn't give the opposition a minute to think. Their press was aggressive. They won the ball. They sustained pressure. I was watching that second half and I was like, this is like Bologna of last year. It's just in a black and white strip. This should be the game that maybe kickstarts Juventus' season, as wild as it may sound, in the middle of January. By the end of the day, Juventus need to make this game count. They need to kickstart their season. They need to continue to do what they done in that second half from now till the remainder of the season. And then once the players come back from injury, they will only get better. But having said all of that, Juventus 2, Milan 0. Keep an eye out for the video that hopefully I can drop out tomorrow. If you're new, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to let me know what you think in the comments. And I'll catch you guys on another one.